Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and this chick thinks that she's going to go out and harass a Trump supporter and gets an immediate dose of karma.
You know, America's still a free country, right?
Victor F. is a 74-year-old Trump supporter who lives in Palo Alto. He casually went about his business today, still sporting the red MAGA hat that prompted a loud confrontation with a woman at a Palo Alto Starbucks 2 days ago.
This crazy woman came over, started raving at me. She turned to the rest of Starbucks. Hey, everybody, here's this racist here. He hates brown people. He's crazy. He's a Nazi and so forth.
The woman, Rebecca Parker Mankey, then began taking photos and posting about it on her Facebook, saying she was going to shame him, get him fired, kicked out of clubs, and march up and down his street. Victor says she left, then came back and tried to rile the Starbucks crowd once more.
Hey, again, everybody here, this racist and so on. And then as she wrote in her thing, she was disappointed all the people didn't come and mob me.
In fact, the opposite happened. People started harassing Parker Mankey's family and her employer, Griffin Stringed Instruments, where she worked as an accountant. The store owner decided to fire her after he read her Facebook posts.
We feel that music is what brings people together, and so having someone then making comments that are divisive is just not consistent with our values.
Absolutely based. This man, not the guy in the cap and the yarmulke, but the store owner is absolutely based. Now, he's probably not a big Trump supporter, probably not even a Republican. Most musicians aren't. That's just the reality. That their brains are wired a little bit different. They're on a different wavelength, more creative. That's okay to admit. It's okay to be more creative and left-leaning. It's not okay to be hateful, though. And this man is standing up for his actual values, and I have nothing but respect for him for doing so.
No one answered the door at Parker Mankey's home, but a female spoke through a closed window saying Rebecca doesn't live here.
She didn't want to discuss the issues with me. She wanted just to scream about Nazis and so on.
Victor wears a yarmulke underneath his MAGA hat. He is Jewish, and so to him, being called a Nazi is hurtful.
People with an education should know better than to say stupid things like that. Lots of people have come up to me and said they sympathize and so on, but they're scared to wear the Trump hat. So I hope this incident brings a wave of people wearing the Trump hats, just like the wave of people with anti-Trump opinions.
Good for him. Let's give him a round of applause real fast. Oh man, I hope I look as good as he does at that age, because he is an absolute Chad. And if you want to look as good as he does, you've got to go to my friends at basedby.shop, check out their conservative merch, and maybe you too can look as awesome as this based old grandpa. And this guy is apparently Jewish. So being called a Nazi by this lady, and first off, this lady is absolutely nuts. She's absolutely nuts. She's got the punk rock hairstyle, works in a music store, and then goes out and harasses an old man in the middle of a Starbucks in California. And she thinks she's going to get away with it. Fortunately, there's still some hope for this country because no one really joined her in the harassment, and people actually started supporting him instead of her. So there is some hope, even in California. But more importantly, she started calling this guy a Nazi. To call a Jewish man a Nazi is the height of stupidity. Furthermore, let's think about this very briefly. Okay, a Nazi wants to concentrate power. All right, that's what fascists want. Donald Trump wants to make the federal government less powerful. You'd think that by that definition alone, you'd throw that whole thing in the trash, now wouldn't you? But unfortunately, this leftist isn't smart enough to figure that out, and most of them aren't, let's be honest. So, what is Trump actually about? Well, he's called himself a nationalist, and I'm not going to go into that too deeply. Candace Owens does it much better than I do. But there's something else deeper at the heart of this whole thing. You have this woman who thinks that she's doing the right thing, thinks that she's being based and she's protecting people's rights by basically spitting on an old man. And she lost. She lost because there is still some decency. There is still the idea that people are allowed to express themselves. She's expressing herself as a literal punk rock person. He's expressing himself as a Jewish Trump Republican. We are currently living in a world now where the right wing cares about your rights more than the left wing. That is unprecedented in world history. And it's very, very disturbing to think about that long term. That an average person can come out and try to shout down and cancel a man in real time and in real life. Not online, not in some comedy club, but at a Starbucks of all places. And she lost. And that gives me some hope. And I hope that gives you some hope too. Folks, hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politbrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what you agreed with, what you disagreed with in the comments below. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
A video don't take the very the side is very important of the Lucy the video the very support time of the YouTube with the doctor team, but you really got really your video most important of the site or the irregular you verified very log here log 4 40 49 okay thank you